The unseen enemy. In the remote reaches of the galaxy, the research vessel Aurora cruised silently, its sleek hull reflecting the distant light of a binary star system. The vessel was a marvel of human engineering, equipped with advanced sensors and scientific instruments designed to explore the farthest corners of space. On board, the crew was a mix of species from various planets, united by their shared mission of discovery. Captain Elena Harris, a seasoned spacefarer with a reputation for both bravery and intelligence, commanded the vessel with a calm but authoritative presence. As the crew finished their survey of a newly discovered nebula, the mood on the ship was one of quiet satisfaction. The nebula, with its swirling colors and mysterious formations, had provided a wealth of data that would keep the scientific community buzzing for months. However, their peaceful routine was abruptly interrupted by an urgent transmission. The signal, distorted and crackling with interference, came from a nearby space station known as Station Omega. The transmission was a desperate plea for help, barely decipherable but unmistakably filled with panic. Captain Harris, her brow furrowed in concern, quickly assembled her senior staff in the command deck. Lieutenant Jarek, the ship's chief engineer with a knack for problem-solving, and Dr. Lyra, the xenobiologist known for her deep empathy and knowledge of alien species, joined her. Harris relayed the details of the transmission and outlined their course of action. The crew was tense. Distress signals could mean anything from a minor malfunction to a full-scale assault. As the Aurora approached Station Omega, the crew's worst fears began to materialize. The space station, once a beacon of hope and progress, now floated in a state of disrepair. Its exterior was pockmarked with blasts, and a cloud of debris drifted ominously around it. The sensors picked up multiple energy signatures from Krell ships, alien vessels known for their brutal efficiency and formidable weaponry. The Krell were a feared species, their reputation built on countless skirmishes and conquests. The docking procedure was carried out with utmost precision, the crew's anxiety palpable as they prepared to confront the unknown threat. Captain Harris led the team, with Jarek and Lyra by her side, as they made their way through the damaged docking port and into the station. The interior of Station Omega was eerily silent, the usual hum of machinery replaced by an unsettling quiet. The crew's footsteps echoed through the abandoned corridors, each step bringing them closer to the heart of the crisis. As they reached the central control room, the sight that greeted them was both shocking and sobering. The room was in disarray, with control panels sparking intermittently and screens displaying static. The station's few remaining staff members, visibly shaken and injured, huddled together, their faces etched with fear. They explained that the Krell had launched a surprise attack, overpowering the station's defenses and capturing most of the crew. The survivors had managed to send a distress signal before being forced into hiding. Captain Harris' mind raced as she assessed the situation. The Krell's strength and numbers were daunting, but she knew that abandoning the station was not an option. The Aurora's crew had a reputation for rising to challenges, and this would be no different. They needed a plan to rescue the captured crew, neutralize the Krell threat, and ensure the safety of Station Omega. Lieutenant Jarek quickly began analyzing the station's damaged systems, looking for any way to regain control or disrupt the Krell's operations. Dr. Lyra, meanwhile, worked to provide medical aid to the injured survivors, her calming presence a small but significant comfort. Harris coordinated their efforts, have a strategic mind, piecing together a plan of action. They needed to act swiftly and decisively, using every advantage they had to turn the tide in their favor. As the crew prepared for their mission, the weight of the situation settled heavily upon them. They were about to confront one of the most feared species in the galaxy, but they were determined to succeed. The rescue operation would require courage, ingenuity, and unwavering resolve. The fate of Station Omega, and the lives of its crew, depended on their ability to overcome the odds. Into the abyss, the plan was set. Captain Harris and her team would infiltrate the Krell-held sections of Station Omega, free the captured crew, and disabled the Krell's control systems to prevent further attacks. The crew had no illusions about the danger they faced. The Krell were known for their ruthless tactics and advanced weaponry. The mission required precise execution and absolute focus. Lieutenant Jarek, having examined the station's schematics, identified a series of maintenance tunnels that would provide a covert route into the heart of the Krell's stronghold. These tunnels, although damaged, still offered a way past the heavily fortified main corridors. Jarek's expertise in engineering and technical systems would be crucial in navigating these passageways and bypassing the Krell's security measures. Dr. Lyra, with her knowledge of alien species and medical training, prepared for the possibility of encountering wounded Krell or any other unexpected challenges. Her role would be to assist the injured and provide medical support if needed. Captain Harris would lead the team, her tactical acumen and leadership guiding them through the perilous operation. The crew entered the maintenance tunnels, their movements cautious and calculated. The dim lighting and narrow passageways added to the tension, but the team pressed forward, their resolve unshaken. Lieutenant Jarek worked quickly to repair and override damaged systems, ensuring their path remained clear. Dr. Lyra kept a close watch on the readouts and the health of their small team, ready to respond to any emergencies. As they approached the Krell's main control center, the crew encountered their first significant challenge. A group of Krell soldiers patrolled the area, their imposing figures and advanced weaponry making them formidable opponents. The team took cover, waiting for the right moment to strike. Captain Harris, her eyes sharp and focused, coordinated their movements with precision. The plan was to incapacitate the Krell quietly, minimizing any risk of alerting additional forces. The operation was executed flawlessly. Using a combination of stealth tactics and non-lethal weaponry, the crew neutralized the Krell guards without raising an alarm. They made their way into the control center, where the Krell's command operations were concentrated. The room was filled with a chaotic array of controls and monitors, with Krell officers barking orders and coordinating their efforts. Lieutenant Jarek quickly set to work, hacking into the Krell's systems and disabling their communications and defensive measures. The room was filled with the sound of alarms and flashing lights as the Krell's command structure was thrown into disarray. Dr. Lyra and Captain Harris searched for the captured crew, freeing them from their confinement and providing them with much-needed reassurance. The rescue operation was moving smoothly, but time was running out. The Krell would soon realize the extent of the disruption and retaliate with increased force. The team needed to act quickly to complete their objectives and escape before they were overwhelmed. Captain Harris' leadership and the crew's unwavering determination were put to the test as they fought to secure their escape route and ensure the safety of Station Omega. The Krell counterattack. As the Aurora prepared to depart from Station Omega, the crew was not afforded much time to rest. The Krell, known for their strategic acumen and ruthless efficiency, were already regrouping and preparing for a counterattack. The disruption caused by the crew's operation had been significant, but it was only a matter of time before the Krell launched a renewed offensive. Captain Harris, having just finished a debriefing with her senior staff, knew that the crew needed to be ready for the impending battle. The Aurora's sensors picked up increased Krell activity around the station, and the ship's crew began preparations for a potential confrontation. The engineers worked to reinforce the ship's defenses and ensure that all systems were operational. Dr. Lyra continued to provide medical support to the rescued crew, her expertise vital in maintaining their health and morale. Lieutenant Jarek, having successfully disabled the Krell's control systems on the station, now focused on analyzing the data gathered during the operation. He discovered that the Krell had deployed additional forces to the area, indicating a large-scale assault was imminent. The data also revealed the Krell's primary strategy: to cripple the Aurora and disable its ability to interfere with their operations. As the Krell ships drew closer, Captain Harris and her crew braced themselves for the battle ahead. The Aurora was equipped with advanced weaponry and defensive systems. But the Krell's sheer numbers and firepower presented a significant challenge. The crew's training and experience would be put to the test as they faced off against the formidable alien force. With the Krell's control systems in disarray and the captured crew freed, the team made their way back to the Aurora. Their mission was far from over, but they had achieved a crucial victory. The immediate threat to Station Omega had been neutralized, but the Krell would undoubtedly regroup and continue their assault. The crew's next challenge would be to prepare for the Krell's inevitable counterattack and ensure that the station remained secure. The first wave of the Krell assault was swift and brutal. Their ships, heavily armed and highly maneuverable, engaged the Aurora in a fierce firefight. The ship's shields flared as it absorbed the impact of the Krell's energy weapons. Lieutenant Jarek worked furiously to optimize the ship's defenses and target the Krell ships with pinpoint accuracy. Dr. Lyra assisted in treating the wounded and maintaining the crew's readiness. Captain Harris, her command unshaken by the chaos, coordinated the crew's efforts with precision. The battle was intense, with the Aurora maneuvering skillfully through the debris field around Station Omega and engaging the Krell forces in a high-stakes dogfight. The crew's expertise and teamwork were evident as they worked together to repel the attackers and protect the station. Despite their best efforts, the Krell continued their relentless assault. The Aurora's crew faced wave after wave of enemy ships, their resolve and endurance tested to the limit. The battle was a grueling test of their skills and determination, but the crew remained steadfast, driven by their commitment to protect Station Omega and its inhabitants. As the battle raged on, Captain Harris and her team began to see the first signs of a turning point. The Krell's initial offensive was being pushed back, and the Aurora's superior tactics and technology were beginning to make a difference. The crew's resilience and ingenuity were proving to be a significant advantage in the fight against the alien aggressors. The hidden agenda. With the immediate threat of the Krell assault temporarily repelled, Captain Harris and her crew turned their attention to understanding the deeper motivations behind the attack. The Krell's actions seemed to be more than just a simple act of aggression. There was a hidden agenda that needed to be uncovered. Lieutenant Jarek, continuing his analysis of the Krell data, discovered several encrypted files that hinted at a larger strategic plan. The Krell were not only targeting Station Omega, but were also attempting to secure a crucial resource located within the station's vicinity. This resource, a rare mineral known for its unique properties, was of immense value to the Krell and could potentially turn the tide of the conflict in their favor. Captain Harris convened a meeting with her senior staff to discuss their findings and formulate a strategy. The Aurora's crew needed to not only defend Station Omega, but also secure the mineral and prevent it from falling into the Krell's hands. Dr. Lyra, with her knowledge of alien physiology and resource management, provided valuable insights into the mineral's importance and the potential consequences of its capture. The crew devised a plan to protect the mineral and fortify the station's defenses. Lieutenant Jarek, leveraging his engineering expertise, worked on enhancing the station's security systems and creating traps to deter any further Krell incursions. Dr. Lyra focused on coordinating with the station's remaining staff to ensure that everyone was aware of the new security measures and prepared for any additional threats. As the crew implemented their plan, they encountered several challenges. The Krell, aware of the Aurora's increased defenses, adapted their strategy and launched a series of coordinated attacks designed to test the station's resilience. The crew had to remain vigilant, constantly adjusting their tactics to counter the Krell's evolving strategies. Captain Harris and her team continued to gather intelligence on the Krell's movements and intentions. They discovered that the Krell were preparing for a major offensive, aiming to overwhelm the station's defenses and seize the mineral. The crew's efforts to protect the resource and secure the station became even more critical as the Krell's plans began to take shape. The heart of the storm. As the Krell's offensive intensified, Captain Harris and her crew faced their most challenging test yet. The station's defenses were holding, but the Krell's relentless assaults and sophisticated tactics threatened to breach their lines. The crew's preparation and resilience would be put to the ultimate test as they fought to secure Station Omega and protect the valuable mineral. The battle reached a new level of intensity as the Krell launched a full-scale assault, deploying their most advanced warships and utilizing every available resource. The Aurora and Station Omega faced a coordinated onslaught that tested their defenses and pushed their capabilities to the limit. Lieutenant Jorik worked tirelessly to optimize the ship's and station's systems, focusing on maintaining operational effectiveness under the extreme pressure. Dr. Lyra continued to provide medical support and coordinate with the station's personnel to ensure that everyone was functioning at their best. Captain Harris, her leadership and strategic acumen in full force, directed the crew's efforts with precision. The battle was a complex dance of strategy and skill, with each move critical to the outcome. The crew's determination and teamwork shone brightly as they fought to repel the Krell and protect their mission. Despite their best efforts, the Krell managed to breach some of the station's outer defenses. The crew faced fierce combat within the station's corridors as they fought to reclaim lost ground and secure vital areas. The battle was brutal and unrelenting, with every inch of the station contested. As the fighting continued, the crew discovered new aspects of the Krell's strategy. The Krell were not just attacking the station, they were attempting to exploit weaknesses in its infrastructure and undermine its ability to function. The crew had to adapt their tactics and respond to the Krell's evolving strategy to maintain their advantage. The turning tide. As the battle for Station Omega reached its critical juncture, Captain Harris and her crew began to see a glimmer of hope. The Krell's relentless assault had taken a toll on both sides, and the Aurora's crew's resilience and tactical brilliance was starting to make a difference. Lieutenant Jurik's engineering skills played a pivotal role in turning the tide. By analyzing the Krell's patterns and weaknesses, he was able to devise new countermeasures and implement upgrades to the station's defenses. The crew's improved capabilities allowed them to push back against the Krell's forces and regain control of key areas. Dr. Lyra continued her crucial work, providing medical support and coordinating with the station's personnel to ensure that everyone was operating at their best. Her efforts helped to maintain the crew's morale and effectiveness, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Captain Harris, ever the strategic mastermind, adapted her tactics to counter the Krell's renewed efforts. She coordinated a series of counterattacks designed to disrupt the Krell's operations and weaken their resolve. The Aurora and Station Omega began to push the Krell back, reclaiming lost ground and securing their position. The turning point came when the crew discovered a critical weakness in the Krell's strategy. The Krell had overextended their forces and were vulnerable to a well-coordinated counteroffensive. Captain Harris seized the opportunity, launching a decisive assault that targeted the Krell's command structure and disrupted their operations. The battle began to shift in favor of the Aurora and Station Omega. The Krell, caught off guard by the renewed offensive, struggled to regroup and adapt to the changing situation. The crew's determination and ingenuity were proving to be a decisive factor in the conflict. Victory and aftermath. With the Krell's forces in disarray and their command structure disrupted, Captain Harris and her crew pressed their advantage. The final stages of the battle were marked by intense fighting, but the Aurora and Station Omega were determined to secure their victory. Lieutenant Jorik continued to lead the engineering efforts, implementing final upgrades to the station's systems and ensuring that all defenses were operating at peak efficiency. Dr. Lyra provided critical support, helping to care for the wounded and maintaining the crew's morale. Captain Harris, with her leadership and strategic brilliance, orchestrated the final stages of the conflict. The crew's coordinated efforts and unwavering resolve led to the defeat of the Krell forces. The battle was won, and Station Omega was secure. In the aftermath of the conflict, the crew of the Aurora was hailed as heroes. Their bravery, ingenuity, and determination had turned the tide of the battle and secured a critical victory. The station's personnel, grateful for the crew's efforts, celebrated their success and honored their sacrifice. As the Aurora prepared to leave Station Omega and continue its mission, Captain Harris and her crew reflected on their experiences. The battle had tested their limits, but they had emerged victorious, their strength and unity a testament to the power of human ingenuity and resilience. The story of the Aurora and its crew would become a legendary tale, celebrated across the galaxy as a symbol of hope and determination. The crew's actions had not only saved Station Omega, but had also demonstrated the incredible potential of humanity and its allies in the face of overwhelming odds.